Today on the Pro-Life Podcast, an actress has adopted a child, and Hollywood is losing their minds. Well, stranger things have happened. And more reasons to love Costco. Let me count the ways. We need to talk about this. Let's get started. Happy Thursday, Pro-Life family. Welcome to the table. Hey, guys.
Hi.
Nice to do this again.
Yeah.
And we have mostly good news today?
I know. I was just saying, I think this is the first all good news podcast that I've had the opportunity to join. And I don't know what to do, guys.
Good job, everybody.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, there was the all good news. I think we have to go back to Dobbs.
Okay.
Like an all good news
That's
episode.
fair.
We had a pinata on that one. That's hard to beat.
Overturning Roe v. Wade is pretty hard to beat.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get to our introductions and move on to the program.
Kim Schwartz, Director of Media and Communication.
Michaela Vaughn, Education Director.
Brent Klingerman, IT Director, and somehow the humble host of this program, I think? I don't know. Okay, well, topics at hand. Millie Bobby Brown, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who I had to look up who that was.
It's okay.
That's usually I'm the pop culture guy, and now I feel old.
Yeah.
But apparently she adopted a child.
Yeah.
Yes. She posted on Instagram over the weekend. This summer, we welcomed our sweet baby girl through adoption. We are beyond excited to embark on this beautiful next chapter of parenthood in both peace and privacy. And then she signed off. And then there were three. Love Millie and Jake Bongiovi. So
Sweet.
Millie and Jake, they got married. Gosh, when did they get married?
A year ago.
Just a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so she got married young
She got married young
to a guy.
to
Yes. That's important to say.
to a guy, and you just don't see that. I think with like these stars in pop culture, it's usually cohabitation for a really, really long time. Maybe they'll have kids at some point far down the road.
Via IVF with a surrogate and like all this.
And a whole lot of
crazy
genetic testing
But-
to pick what eye color and gender we want.
Yeah, but Millie Bobby Brown and Jake Bongiovi, son of John Bongiovi, which I think is pretty cool.
Stuff. Yeah.
Like in public, committed to be faithful together, in marriage.
Could see why Hollywood would think that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But we need more of that because
We
actually
do.
that comes down to the culture question. Then yes, they make the statement about adopting a little girl about a year into marriage. You're saying
Yeah. And so some of the internet is being really salty about this. And they're like, why would she adopt? This is so weird. She's too young. And I think the reason why the culture is so shocked by this is because this is a very like normal thing to do and the culture does not know how to handle it.
culture is not normal.
Yeah. So I was looking up some of Millie Bobby Brown's past interviews and statements she's made about wanting a family and wanting to like be the mom that her mom was to her. And really, it sounds like this is a very like good-hearted, just following the example that was set for her. She said, my mom actually had her first child at 21 and my dad was 19. And that's been my thing even before I met Jake, her husband now. I always wanted to be a mom just like the way my mom was to me. And she said, that's about being a mom. But she said, even as a wife wanting to model the example that her parents set, that both she and Jake grew up with really wonderful relationships to observe. And I think it sets a precedent for what we want in our lives. I watched my parents fall more in love every day, and that's just what we hope to achieve for ourselves. And so you hear that, and you're like, what's the scandal? Why are people upset by that? But I think that people who haven't seen that, it's just like speaking a different language to them. So that could explain why it's like, why would you do this? But yeah, I would say the one comment that I agree with from people on the internet observing Millie Bobby Brown's becoming a mother, they say, wow, she's a child actress and she's already a mom. Like, that must make me old. And that's true. So
Welcome to the club.
yes.
So
All of
she
us.
started Stranger Things when she was 11 or 12.
Yeah.
The same character, the same age as her character.
Yes.
And now the show hasn't progressed as quickly as like life has, and now she's 21 with a baby.
Yeah, so that does make it like, wait, whoa, am I old? Yeah, I guess so, because here she is. She's married with a child and everything. Good for her.
I also think another reason that the story has gotten more comments and feedback from the internet than I would have expected is that society tells women that the most important thing in your life, the only way you're going to derive true happiness is by having a successful career. And there is a natural give and take of sometimes I hear the phrase like, you can have it all in relation to like having a family and a career. And that's true to an extent. You can have it all, but not at the same time. By having a child, you naturally have to say no to some things in your career. Doesn't mean you have to completely give up your career, but your life is going to be modified. And here we have an example of Millie Bobby Brown saying, actually, when I look at the order of my life, family ranks very highly. Mm-hmm. And when we talk a lot about making it a culture of life. But what does that mean? It means more than just no one's getting an abortion anymore. It's also about valuing marriage, the family, and children, and seeing every life as a gift. Mm-hmm. And that should be our response to Millie Bobby Brown. Like, wow, look at that beautiful gift that they're inviting into their family.
Right.
Totally.
And being blessed with.
I've had career achievements, but I've never like gone home and been thrilled that I got a hug from my career. You know, almost 20 years of marriage, and it's like, yeah, that's not what I look forward to going home is more work.
Yeah. Yeah, Millie Bobby Brown seems like she's really had that, hierarchy of her values and expressed that too. She said, like, yes, it is important for me to, be a great producer and actress. But she says, I also find it so important to start a family. And she even said that she wants a big family. She's one of 4 and her husband is one of 4. So she says that's definitely in our future. I don't even know if 4 is like 4 culturally is considered a big family, but like, I don't know if I've seen some big families, you know?
I mean, yeah, homeschool kid, Catholics.
Yeah.
We're used to some bigger families.
Yes.
But yeah, 4 is kind of that line of like, yeah,
definitely. And then she adds to, because we have to acknowledge that, yes, she had a child, but she chose to adopt and not have this child biologically. And like you were saying with the culture of life, being welcoming to life in any kind of circumstance, she says, I don't see having your own child really as any different than adopting. I feel that my home is always full of love for anyone and anything, and that's what we stand by. In our house, the door is always open. Great values. This seems like she has just a very open heart to life, and I think that's why people are really hating on her.
Yeah, I saw one of the comments about this. One of the negative comments about this was, we need to raise the age that you're allowed to adopt, which I think is very hypocritical, because on one hand, you have the pro-abortion side saying, what about all the babies that are waiting to be adopted? If you're pro-life, you have to adopt. And
all the children first.
And then we have an example of someone who is very graciously and generously opened up their home to welcome this baby via adoption. And we're all of a sudden saying, oh, well, actually, we're going to narrow the limit on who can adopt even more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then let's talk about driving age, voting age, smoking age, drinking age, like how old you can go to war. Like, come on.
But this person on Reddit says you have to be 25 to rent a car. So renting car and adopting children should be on the same.
Not true. You just pay a higher insurance rate.
That's true.
Point.
Yes, it was very.
Been there, done that.
Yep.
Yeah. But the question really is on maturity. Maybe you know some 21-year-olds who are not mature enough to adopt. Well, then tell that person, maybe you shouldn't adopt.
Well, there's also very stringent guidelines and a selection process for adoptive parents.
Yeah.
And so the biological parents had to approve of Millie Bobby Brown and her husband adopting the baby. They had to go through the adoption agency. And so it's not like every 21-year-old is adopting a child.
Yeah, it's definitely.
21-year-olds who are financially ready, emotionally ready, have a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
So I do not believe that.
She's kind of already living more of an adult pro-life, like not pro-life, but you know what I mean, like professional level life than most 21-year-olds.
Yeah.
So
I think we should be saying this is a great example. We should have more people in society choosing to adopt babies.
Boom.
We love babies.
I honestly think the whole 21-year-old not being responsible enough to adopt is more of a statement on those people and cultures extending adolescence out to a ridiculous length.
Agreed.
Than like we've ever seen in history.
That's the bigger problem than this 21-year-old adopting. That's not the problem.
Obviously, you're 21 and not ready to adopt. It's typically because, well, you're still living with your parents and going to school and not being a professional adult.
Yeah.
Or if we're talking about having kids young, I actually still think back to this. I had a professor in college, and one day he was giving some life advice to a group of students during a symposium, and he was like, it's great to get married young, because on the biological side of things, as a 21-year-old or someone who's in their 20s, you are more biologically able to recover from lack of sleep at night because you're staying up with the baby than someone who's in their 30s approaching 40. And that's what we see in society a lot. People waiting to have the final career before they have kids.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you wait for like everything to be perfect, we've talked about this before about a lot of people being just afraid of marriage and children at any stage of life, but especially early on. If you wait for everything to be perfect, it's never going to happen. If you're like, wow, it's so hard to have a kid in this day and age. Well, your ancestors were being chased by bears, okay? It wasn't a good time then either.
You know, one of my very good friends, before I got married, told me, she's like, if you wait until you have everything right, the right job, enough money, enough whatever, she's like, you'll never get married, you'll never have kids, you'll never buy the house. So not like, there's no such thing as ready.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. That's a made up idea that you've somehow had developed and pressed upon you or whatever. It's like, no, if it's time to do that, like seek God on that. Don't seek like culture's ideas on that.
Yeah.
And what about getting married young and your wife pushing you to be a better person than if you were to stay single? That baby encourages you to do better in your career and to be a more selfless, loving person. Yeah. I think a lot of times these scary decisions that society tells us to push off are the very things we need to be better people.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
you know what else we need? Costco memberships.
We do need Costco. I
need to get one.
I have had one for 16 years.
Yes.
That wasn't a random segue.
That was not a random segue, but we'll explain after this break. Do you have a cell phone? Do you have pro-life values? Do you like saving money? Well, Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider, and they've partnered with Texas Right to Life. So if you'll go to patriotmobile.com/Texas Right to Life or call 972-PATRIOT, 972-PATRIOT, and use the checkout code TRTL, they'll give you a free month of service. So make the switch today, have your money support causes you believe in, and save and get a whole free month. Make the switch right now. What are you doing still watching this? Make the switch right now.
Want to support a cause you love and look great doing it? Visit the Texas Right to Life online store. You'll find t-shirts, hats, mugs, bags, everything you need to rep the pro-life movement wherever you go. Plus, you'll get free shipping on every order. Listeners like you, yes, you, can get 15% off when you use code PODCAST at checkout. Visit store.texasrighttolife.com today to shop with purpose and make a difference.
Welcome back, friends. We were discussing Costco, which I know seems like an odd thing to talk about on a pro-life podcast, but I promise it will make sense because Costco has finally decided at the board level, correct?
Yep.
That they will not sell abortion pills.
Thank God. There are a lot of pharmacies across the United States that have agreed to dispense abortion pills, And that includes Walgreens and CVS have both started doing that since the Biden administration really gave them the green light to expand that a couple years ago. Costco has been debating this for a while, and it's gone back and forth, but they recently came out and said that, we're not going to dispense the abortion pill at our pharmacy. And that's great because that means that preborn children will not die at the hands of Costco.
And like you mentioned, it's not as if for the longest time pharmacies have been dispensing the abortion pill. It's a very recent move that the FDA allowed. For a long time, abortion pills were difficult to obtain from pharmacies. And in 2023, the FDA allowed brick and mortar pharmacies to start selling abortion pills, and CVS and Walgreens went with it. They love money. They love chasing money. But Costco was in the deliberation phase, and they were bold, and they made an official statement saying, we're not going to hang out in this limbo. Will we? Won't we? We're not doing it.
Yeah. And that's a smart business move, too, because you see the problem of like Toys R Us that ended up kind of killing their target market. Toys R Us several years ago donated to Planned Parenthood and perpetually donated to Planned Parenthood. Whenever people are having fewer children, there's fewer people to sell toys to. So that created a problem for Toys R Us. Costco, obviously this was the moral move to do, the bold and brave move to do, but people, I think abortion advocates often say abortion is good for business. Abortion is good for the economy.
I can't think of how.
I don't know how either.
Well, not on the macro scale, right? So you can try to get reimbursements from insurance and get that immediate income. But when we're looking, it just kind of relates back to society's view on not having kids and waiting to have kids. Our population needs to increase.
Yeah. Yes,
our population's at a pretty scary place right now where we're approaching the point where we're not replacing ourselves. And so if you're a Costco and your whole business model is selling in bulk to families, well, by golly, I hope there's families to buy my product.
I would hope.
And they tend to, because they sell in bulk, attract larger families. It was funny because that was a present. A Costco membership was a present we got when we had our first child from some friends at church. And we have never dropped that thing because...
So smart.
Costco products, quality products, man. I mean, and the bigger the family got, the more convenient that was. So, yeah, this is just one more reason for me to love Costco.
Yeah, it's true. And I think people who love Costco, they're always looking for another reason to love Costco.
It's true.
I see people on the internet throwing Costco parties for their spouse. No, I have to share this. This is a way we can tell Costco that they're doing a good job by participating in these. And so, for example, if my husband, we don't have a Costco membership. We were told when we were pregnant that we had to choose between Costco or Sam's, and we just haven't pulled the trigger yet. But this does make me lean Costco. But if my husband loved Costco, I would arrange for his 10 best friends to go to the Costco and just kind of mill around. And then he'd bring my husband, let's go to Costco and shop. And then it's oh my gosh, this is so crazy. All my friends are here.
Oh my gosh.
That's a thing now?
Yeah, I've seen 2 families do it.
I believe it.
You know?
And at first, they're what a coincidence. My friend is here. Then they see the next person. What? I just saw so-and-so. And then they figure it out.
Is it like going to the mall back in the day when you go to the mall with your friends, but now we all just go to Costco with our friends?
Maybe. Hey, guys.
Or is that because we're getting old?
I think it's because we're old. I don't know.
I'm 100% old. All right. I own it. I am. I'm definitely the oldest guy at the table.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Yes.
But hey, if you want to hang at Costco, I'm down.
Well, I think going back to the original story, another tie to the pro-life movement is that it shows that pro-life pressure works. Because since 2023, I've seen various pro-life groups boycott CVS and Walgreens for their decision. And also sending out messaging and making statements, sending emails, encouraging retailers like Costco not to sell the abortion pill. And we do have a voice. It matters. People are listening to us. And that's encouraging.
Well, it's like we've talked about for a while. Vote with your dollars.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, well, I guess Costco won't be getting a cease and desist from the Attorney General.
Yes, good segue, champion. So, as some people have mentioned, the Attorney General of Texas has recently started cracking down on abortion pill websites. We've said it time and again, the websites that are based in other states and countries selling abortion pills here in Texas and mailing them. That is illegal. However, the ability to actually like go after and stop that activity is the thing that we really need to stop. Like, hey, you're breaking the law. Well, are you going to do anything about it? If you can't, then it's like, well, you're going to keep doing that thing. So that's why we need to pass new legislation to stop abortion pills. But we're proud that the Attorney General is using what he can, using the tools on the table to try to stop this activity right now, too. We need both approaches. So what happened last week was, if you're going to sue somebody, it's good to give them a warning. That's called a cease and desist letter. And so these letters that the Attorney General has sent to a few websites, one is a spinoff of Aid Access, Plan C pills, and then another one that we haven't talked about on the show, but is still doing the same activity. They received these cease and desist letters saying, if you don't stop selling abortion pills in Texas, I'm going to sue you. And so now that action in itself doesn't turn the tide. It doesn't force them to stop. But if I say, hey, you better stop doing this or I'm going to sue you, you might,
I'm going to have to think about, can you actually sue me? What's it going to cost me? Am I going to lose money? Yeah, I'm going to have to pause for a minute to think about what I want to do at least.
Exactly. And so we hope the abortion pill websites will respond to this and say, oh, shoot, like if I keep selling abortion pills in Texas, I'm risking a $100,000 fine per child with this by breaking the law. So that's, quite an important factor to consider.
If you sold a pill for $100, but then you got sued for $100,000, I'm no math genius or economics guy, but that doesn't sound particularly profitable.
No.
Yeah, hard to cut even.
Yeah, probably. So I think that's a pretty good factor that these websites will now consider. And they could choose to stop selling abortion pills in Texas. They could say, you know what? I see that the Attorney General is ready to knock on my door with a lawsuit, and I don't want to pay $100,000 just for selling a $100 pill. So I'm going to not sell in Texas anymore and kill preborn children here. That'd be great. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario, because this is just a letter, not a lawsuit in itself, but it's like the warning shot before, the websites could say like, okay, what are you going to do about it? And, really challenge that. They could continue selling abortion pills in Texas and wait for the Attorney General to make the next move and actually sue them. So that's what we're waiting on to see. But this was a very good and bold move from the Attorney General. We hope that, it will save preborn children working with, again, the tools that we have. But it's not the complete picture. Like I said, the abortion pill websites can say, like, you know what, you can't get me. I'm going to keep selling these pills.
Well, and part of the problem is most of our commerce laws regarding such things were written when the internet was in dial-up.
Nothing has changed.
I mean, it's kind of the last time they got an update. So technology has changed drastically. We saw a couple years ago, we passed some laws, and now Cornhub, because we're on YouTube, I gotta be careful how I say this, can't be available in Texas without like proving you're an adult. There are many other sites that just went, fine, we're just blocking Texas entirely from our network because we don't want to deal with the regulations. So these kind of things do work.
Then they work as a deterrence.
Yeah.
And I think that's the intention of it.
Totally.
best case scenario, the attorney general actually doesn't have to drag out these bajillion lawsuits, but it works as a deterrence because the companies don't even want to fork over the money for the lawsuits and getting up the lawyer.
I'm happy with that.
Yes, and that, you know what? That sounds like a success to me. Even if there aren't any lawsuits, deterrence is good enough.
Yeah, totally.
We'll start with Texas.
Yeah.
We'll definitely start with Texas. And from there on to the rest of the country, right?
Yeah, I mean, we can become a blueprint for the rest of the nation in stopping abortion pills because we're not the only state that's facing this problem. All over the country, abortions are increasing and they're going online.
Yep.
That's true in liberal states and it's true in pro-life states too. So the pro-life states, the ones that have already banned abortion, and they're trying to figure out, what do we do? How do we tackle this problem? Let's show them what to do.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep. So, friends, there's a quick call to action. You can, links below, contact your legislator. We need to make sure that they're giving the AG's office more tools to do his job to protect the lives of the unborn children. Because we're looking at 27,000 between this session and the next one in 2 years. That's a lot of kids.
That's a conservative number. That's like on the lower end of the estimates. Yeah.
Right. Ow. Okay, so please, links below. Do your part. Thanks for watching, friends. We love you. We will see you in 2 weeks. Like, share, subscribe, heart, like. I said like. I don't know.
Like it twice.
Like it twice. Like it, unlike it, and like it again. Comment. Thanks for watching.